Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the GameSwift Townhall. Today, with me is, as almost always, Pan Paragraf, the CEO of GameSwift, co-founder of Star Heroes, and our crypto degen for some years already. Yo, Pan, what's up? Is it hot?
What's up? Yes, we are 5 minutes late, but please, guys, don't fire us. It's a small delay. We usually start something around 6:05. Pleasure to meet you. Let us know, how do you feel with European Championships results yesterday? France was beaten by Spain, and it is like a very good result for our games with Spanish community, although our French community is probably sad. How about you, Jacob?
When it comes to the Euro, I think it was a very boring tournament in general, and all of the top teams underperformed, except Spain. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Spain right now. And yesterday's goals from Yamal was just unbelievable. That was such a beauty, man. That was something comparable to the one scored by, what was the name of this Colombian player? 2014. Played for Real Madrid afterwards and scored this beautiful volley strike. Jesus, just forgot his name. But
The
anyways,
one that
this
played in Real Madrid at that time. It's a
let
midfielder.
us know in the comments, guys,
Yeah.
because
I also forget his name. Anyway, guys, today we would like to speak more about crypto rather than football, and it is we are going to start from the overall crypto environment. So obviously, most of the people ask themselves whether it's time to buy the dip, or maybe this is over of this bull market cycle. Our internal thesis, I mean, at least as far as GameSwift team is concerned, is that the bull market itself hasn't started, and that we can expect this summer in Q4 this year. Speaking of 5 bullish arguments that Bitcoin just bottomed, how do you think about this article, Jacob? And do you agree? Do you feel that we are that we are moving into the north direction?
actually there are many indicators suggesting that. So I think that we could just do a short overview for you of those 5 bullish arguments for the Bitcoin price estimations. So first of all, in this article, you can find a technical analysis indicating many indicators such as the bullish divergence on the price chart, which suggests that the 53K bottom was actually the bottom. This is one thing. Another thing is actually the prospects of a September rate cut by the Federal Federal Reserve of the US. So it could also boost the Bitcoin price. The third thing is actually the historical trends, because when you look at the patterns and the trends and previous Bitcoin's price movements, you could support the argument that actually the 53K is the bottom for Bitcoin. The fourth one is the general market sentiment, because you can really see by the flow of the money in the crypto sphere that the buy the bit sentiment is spread widely right now in the market. So it would suggest that people feel that this is the time to buy. And finally, the fifth argument is an increase in the M2 money supply, which also usually supports the argument, the bullish prospects for the Bitcoin. So, guys, maybe we're heading towards a good direction. So we were focusing.
Let's hope for this. Like what I feel in my guts is that we are somewhere in a bottom territory, but I am not professional trader. I'm just relying on what I lived through, and I lived through a lot during last 4 years. But obviously, I don't have to be right. Speaking, what I really liked, and this is the interview that I highly recommend to you, is the interview on Blockworks Macro with Roll Paul. And that's actually there have been a couple of very interesting theses there, and I'm also curious what's your take on that, Jacob. Basically, like, obviously he's speaking about the liquidity cycle, that basically now we are having like every single 4 years a special liquidity cycle when the Fed is printing money, then that there's a quantitative easing, then when the inflation is hit, they are decreasing the liquidity. It is kind of bear market, they are increasing the rates, and he believes that this trend is going to be continued. But obviously, a lot of people are asking themselves whether it's sustainable or not. Because when we check, I don't know, the debt to GDP in US, it is probably somewhere like, guys, it's a lot, right? The same relates to China. So people are afraid that US government will be bankrupted. And Raoul Paul is a little bit opposite to this thesis. And what he's basically saying is that thanks to the rapid development of robotic and artificial intelligence, we are like years away from a parabolic increase of GDP worldwide, and this will allow those governments to, let's say, get away from the prison for printing too much money and from generating too much debt. And he is providing the comparison to what happened after Second World War, because when you think what is the GDP, right? It is basically the population growth multiplied by the production growth and by debt, right? And the reason why GDP was growing so rapidly after Second World War is that we had this baby boomer generation, right? After the war has been ended, people, let's say, generated a lot of brothers and sisters. They've been generating a lot of production, and thanks to this, our GDP was growing parabolically. But then, and what is happening right now, our population, our demographics, at least in the Western world, doesn't look that good. It is actually poor and very miserable. But the reason why, due to at least that's what Raoul Paul predicts, the reason why it's not going to be bankrupted is that we have like that thanks to the robotic. Take a look, for example, how many robots Amazon is using comparing to 5 years ago. Thanks to the rapid development of AI, we will not need humans anymore in a lot of production environment. So we'll have something like infinite population in this calculation, right? So thanks to infinite population, we will grow our production, and this will lead to the very rapid growth of our GDP. And that's why he believes that we are years away from so-called banana zone. This is also why basically that's the analysis, and now let's speak about the conclusions. So his conclusions is that since governments, central banks, they know that thanks to the infinite population, infinite production will improve the worldwide GDP. Thanks to this, they can print, they can generate more debt. So they are going to debase our currencies. US dollar will be debased, euro will be debased, and all the major worldwide fiat currencies. So we, as the investors, we need to find a hedge against that, right? And there are like two basically hedges. The first is the technology. So probably it's worth to have exposure for US tech, for US stocks, especially for those regarding robotics and AI. And the second one is crypto, because this is the asset class which has limited supply, etc., etc. You know all of those theses. So that's a pretty interesting interview. I'm also curious what's your take on that. Link into the description.
Yeah, it sounds very logical to me. It makes sense, but there's just one thing I wanted to highlight, because the key thing right now is what the AI will be used for, and whether it will be used only for services, only for things that are intangible, like crypto, like online services, something that Amazon is doing, for example, or it will really convert into production and the real products. And I'm just wondering whether we are capable, because the GDP itself, it's for example in the US, a big part of the GDP are, for example, the healthcare services. It stands for, I can't remember how much, but it's really a lot, guys. So imagine this is not something that we really produce, and it does not bring a real value in times of need. And as we could have seen during the pandemic, the GDP itself didn't produce, I don't know, health masks.
I know what you mean. For example, Russia is proud that they are having very nice GDP right now, but it is mostly due to the military production, right? So it depends whether this GDP is sustainable or not. But his thesis is that basically, thanks to the rapid development of AI and robotics, we'll generate more goods and we'll generate them cheaper and quicker. And when you think about it, that's kind of logical. So let's see, and let's diversify. But anyway, he's another thesis that the diversification is not good anymore. His thesis that he's full in crypto, full in technology, because he wants to bet on a winning asset class, and in his opinion, there is now no other asset class which is rather than crypto, rather than tech stocks, which is going to win in this cycle, because it's pretty obvious that US dollar will be debased, that the printing machine will go brr, and will continue to go brr over the next couple of years. So yeah.
And by the way, guys, we can also see that the switch in the policies of both the Trump's and Biden's administrations right now, because as you might see in one of the articles that maybe we will post the link below. Actually, the Republican Party has created a crypto policy platform together with Trump that is supposed to facilitate, like providing regulatory clarity and like boosting innovation within the crypto industry. So we can see a big change in the, maybe in the case of Republican Party, it's not such a big switch, but the Biden's administration and supporters are also following, seeing that there is a tech switch. So yeah, this is some bullish news for the crypto world, I think, especially with what you said before.
Yes, like for me, the most important thing is that we already went through a lot in the crypto space. We went through the USDC DPEG, Terra collapse, second biggest exchange collapse, the criminal accusations for CZ, the CEO of the biggest crypto exchange. But there is still like a couple of clouds in this crypto environment which were making people scary off, and this is basically the Mangox, right? And now, since Mangox is going to distribute those tokens back to investor, there is not a single bearish narrative anymore, which is like at least the major one. So I think we are going to clear out the negative sentiment, and the fundamentals for the crypto market will be healthiest as never, because we are like secured by ETF financial instrument. This is bringing the trust into this asset class. Now the exchanges are getting regulated, and it looks like crypto is part of the presidential election process agenda. I listened to the interview with Donald Trump, It's also a very nice interview that I highly recommend for you. It was made on All In podcast, and to be honest, I think that was the first opportunity for me to listen to the Donald Trump for let's say outside the television format, on the pure YouTube format, and it was very cool. And they started this whole let's say interview with Winklevoss brothers, from Gemini exchange, who declared that they are going to donate $1 million in Bitcoin to Donald Trump.
To real Donald Trump. To real
Yeah,
Donald
to,
Trump.
to real Donald Trump. So it is pretty obvious that now Republicans and Donald Trump, that they want to bring the positive crypto legal environment for the crypto in the United States, because it is all what in that industry is praying for. I think that's the last thing, the final boss for the crypto market, is that we lack of the the legal environment for US citizens. And if that is going to be delivered, whether it's Donald Trump or Biden or some other president, then I think fundamentals of the crypto will be healthy as never. So let's hope for this.
Yeah, one more thing to add on is, guys, that right now the Trump's board, like election board, is accepting Bitcoin, Ether, and even Dogecoin for campaign donations. So this is actually a sign of a real switch.
I'm curious what would gonna happen if I would donate him with GSWIFT token, right? Because I'm guessing that they provided some Ethereum wallet address, right? So maybe let's try and send them other tokens, right? Let's see.
And it will be make GSWIFT great again.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
of those banners.
Anyway, guys, the final news, at least from the worldwide news, is about the Germany, but this is something that we already know, that they're basically moving BTC there and there, but we have a special guest from Germany today. However, it is not the one from the government moving those freaking Bitcoins, but this is a special guest from the Wilder world. So, guys, this is a time to invite Zen Wilder. Happy to see you. If you missed the official Twitter account of this amazing piece of gaming entertainment, here is this profile. It is a racing game with explore and earn metaverse mechanism. So, Zen, can you tell us more about what your game is all about and why you're excited for this?
And one more thing, man.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask about the contradiction in your name, because on the one hand it says Zen, which I associate at least with, calmness and meditation, and then it's Wilder, it goes fucking wild. So I'm just wondering, how do you deal with that? How can you live with such an ambiguity in your own name?
Yeah, and another question which comes to my mind is it your real surname? And have you really named the game by your surname? Because the game name is Wilder World and your surname is Wilder. So is it a coincidence, or you just decided to name the game like this?
That's a good question. Thanks. First of all, thank you for inviting me over here. Jakub, I'll answer yours first. I think, being Zen in the head and Wilder in the heart, this is how I would describe it. It's we're trying to keep a clear mind and be Zen in the overall, I think, day to day, but then a Wilder at heart, a disruptor, and just, what we're building at Wilder World as well. So no, it's not my real name, it's my Wilder name. So most of us have Wilder names. You will see that a lot of Wilders have Wilder as their last name in that sense. So Zen Wilder is not my real name, but it is my Wilder World name in that sense. So yeah, Zen in the head, Wilder at heart. This is how I'd mention it and explain it.
And then, can you do anything to stop this German government from dumping the Bitcoin on our faces, or you are not well connected with this establishment?
Let me just write a few messages.
With Chancellor Scholz.
Yeah, but speaking of the devil, how about your game? What's the story? What's the major theme? How you came up with the idea for Wider World?
Yeah, awesome. I think let me present. I think the easiest would just be to share my screen, so I can just show you kind of what we're building, because it's not quite a racing game what you mentioned. This is kind of what the content is laid out right now, because this is, you know, on our development cycle, but I'll get there in a second. So essentially, Wilder World is a photorealistic metaverse experience. Think of it as an open world game experience that goes beyond gaming, but also I will talk about this in a second. So essentially, we were kind of dubbed before the GTA of Web3. So what we're doing is we want to bring the most sophisticated game design technology together with the most sophisticated top-notch blockchain technology and combine it. So we are building as you can see, a photorealistic open world game in Unreal Engine 5.3. We will swap over to 5.4 once it becomes available. And really, we want to facilitate an absolute amazing open world MMORPG that is maximum on chain. So the protocol infrastructure layer that powers Wilder World as a metaverse is an in-house technology that's called Zero.tech. And I'm not going to go too deep into the tech part of it, but essentially what it allows is to have an open world experience that is fully on chain. So we're not talking about a game with Web3 elements, but we're talking about a game where everything that you see essentially will exist as NFTs. Now, what you, for example, see here, and by the way, this gameplay trailer is a year old, and you know my CEO would probably give me a slap on the head if he knew that I showed this, but it is the most up to date that we have, and it gives a good understanding of what we're building right now. But the current game is much more polished than that. So what you see here, for example, these cars, these vehicles that you saw, these running ape waves, how we call them, these are all NFT collections that exist already. So everything that you see here in that world will eventually become an NFT. So we expect in the next 24 months, so that's what we aim at, to have 1 billion NFTs inside Wilder World. So really, any transaction, any quest, anything that you do inside Wilder World is facilitated by the Wild token and by the NFTs in that sense, to really have a maximum on-chain experience. And why everything, the focus is on the racing game right now is we have 4 game modes in development, which is the racing game. It is a mining game. It is a shooter, a first-person shooter, where you can also on Twitter, you can see some of that content, and then the open world MMO experience that we're working on, and we expect to release these game modes in the next 6 months. So the racing game is already live, but essentially it will be a convergence of different game modes, of different metaverse experiences. These are just game experiences that we're talking about. We have other metaverse experiences in the planning in the future, such as museums, art galleries, concerts, social hangouts. So really, you know, what we believe the metaverse will bring together gaming experiences, but also social experiences.
Wow,
And I will stop
looks
here. If you have
really...
any questions, I could go on.
Yeah, I have at least 3 questions to what you just said and what you just presented. First of all, it looks sick, like the graphics looks like from the freaking cyberpunk, and it definitely has the cyberpunk vibe over here. Maybe even more polished, at least when you compare the cyberpunk at the day of debut. And you mentioned that you are in the work of couple of games, like racing game, mining game. So am I right to think that like this metaverse, so the cyberpunk city that you presented, it is kind of the base, and from there you will be able to enter in a couple of different gaming experiences, right? Like racing, mining. If yes, whether it's going to open a separate application or it is still going to be in the same game that you launched from your launcher.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the way that we see it is obviously Wilder World has a whole lore and a story behind that. You know, why Wilder World exist, and there are missions that we need to follow as gamers. And as part of this open world experience, we have to tap into these different sub game modes. So for example, that's the end goal. So when you play through the storyline, through the lore, is you will need to tap into the racing experience to solve certain quests or missions. There will be a shooter application to it. So there will be, think of it as GTA, I guess, in a sense. You know, when you do some missions there, you have to drive somewhere, you have to shoot a little bit. So the idea is that these different game modes, they all come together in the open world experience. But for the beginning, they will exist as sandboxed experience. So the racing game that you can experience already right now, although in a bit of the onboarding is a bit tricky, but we will have the open world, the racing game public launch on the Epic Game Store in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if anyone who can access this via the Epic Game Store, by the way, here, shout out to everyone that's watching. I just recommend you go on the Epic Game Store, find Wilder World, and wishlist the game so you get the notification once we're live. But this will be a sandboxed experience, so we will only be able to actually access the racing game for the time being. But as I mentioned, the long-term goal, once we have the open world live, will be that it is all in the open world accessible. And if you want to race, you can race. If you want to engage in shooter activations, you can do that. Or if you just want to hang out, you can also do that.
Okay, so it is like part of the roadmap that you start with separate applications listed on Epic launcher, and obviously the other launchers, but then you are going to merge this into the one metaverse experience, like in GTA. Okay, that's super cool.
Correct.
And I'm just thinking, can you tell us something more about the team? Because like the overall experience, and you mentioned that this is like the graphics from 1 year ago. So I'm really curious, how long have you been working on this piece of game, and what kind of team has been working here? How many people? Because this like your roadmap, let's be honest with each other, is very ambitious, and there are not many Web3 games in the space that to have this kind of very ambitious roadmap.
Yeah, very good question. So the Wilder World itself is in development since early 2021. The tech stack that I was alluding to before is in the build since 2015. So the same co-founders that founded Wilder World, they've been building the tech since 2015. So it's almost 10 years in development, which is quite a long time. Since 2021, we are probably around 100 people, plus minus. During the last ball, we were a bit more. But we are around 100 people working full time on this project, and really trying to make this a reality. It's the maiden city that we launched with is called Miami, and that is a digital twin of the city of Miami. So we have an actual partnership with the city of Miami, received their OSM data, built the digital twin. So we're talking about a map that's 13.5 times the size of the GTA 5 map. So it is a massive endeavor. And obviously we're not going to launch everything at once, but really populating a city like that and making it look like that is just an unbelievably big endeavor. And from our team side, we have industry veterans that have been in the industry for decades, like some of the best VFX artists, some of the best concept artists, people that worked on all types of titles from Matrix to Dune to the Avenger movies, game designers that are professionals for decades. So really, we have a very, very seasoned team. If you go to our website, or anyone that's watching, we have a list on who is part of our team. Really, we have a stellar team, probably one of the best teams in Web3, if I can say it in that way, to really make this vision become a reality. And you know what I spoke about before, having this absolute open world game where you have all these different experiences coming together. This is a development horizon that's going to go on for years and years on end. But we believe that we have what it takes from a team, from a tech point. Also, we are very, very seasoned in AI and procedural generation. So the head of our procedure generation teams, they also teach procedural generation in universities. So it's really about leveraging the newest systems that you can actually, populate the city in the way that we envision it. So yes, you're absolutely right. It's very ambitious. It's a massive roadmap, and we're working really hard to make this become a reality. But at the same time, we believe we have what it takes to actually make it happen in the way that we envision it.
I like the way how this gameplay video has finished. It has finished at the moment where this car was supposed to fly like a spaceship, and we know that what was missing in the cyberpunk gaming experience, that you were able to drive the cars but not necessarily to fly them. Obviously, I'm guessing that this is part of the roadmap, and this will be very hard to deliver, because I'm also like deep into the game development. I know that it is not a coincidence that CD Projekt Red didn't deliver the flying spaceships. But can you tell us whether those cars are going to be successfully flying, and when do you think this will be possible?
Yeah, so this is the what you saw. That was not a car but a craft, so there's a separate NFT collection. So we have 10 NFT collections that we released from, cars, motorcycles, the animal beast, you saw the wolf walking around earlier, and the crafts are one of these NFT collection that we released back in 22, I believe. So these are flying cars. It's a limited collection, a bit of a smaller collection. Is something that is on the roadmap that will come once we have the open world live, but I can't put any date on when anyone will be able to plug in their craft NFT and fly around the world. So it's a hard one for me to answer, but the development pipeline is full. It is on the dev pipeline. It's definitely gonna happen, but when it will happen, I cannot say.
Super cool. And like the final question which comes to my mind is regarding the Web3 economy, Web3 elements, because let's be honest, the game of this genre you would be able to probably also successfully deliver in the Web2 environment. Web2 environment, which is like very anti-crypto. So I'm just curious, how do you see the future of Web3 gaming, and how do you feel that those Web3 elements, like you mentioned that you are going to have millions of NFTs, that almost everything will be tokenized. How do you feel that this will improve the gaming experience?
It's a good question. I think, I think I really believe that we get to the point where Web2 gaming will understand the superiority of the technology that we have in Web3 gaming. So I think we will arrive at the point where the tokenized assets is something that will be embraced by the traditional gaming community as well. So as for Wilder World, we obviously work very hard to also have it very abstracted, the whole Web3 mechanics, so that anyone can just join the game, can just have fun. No need to create a wallet, no need even to have crypto. So it will be free to play in that sense. So speaking about onboarding traditional gamers, we want to facilitate an experience that makes it as easy as possible for people to just enjoy Wilder World without having to be part of the economy. But then if you want to take part of the economy and you want to advance in the game, you'll have to be part of the trading mechanism, similar to how it is in real life. You can just walk around on the street, you don't need money for that. But if you actually want to drive a car, you want to jump into the bus, you want to do anything really, you want to have a beer or whatever it is, you actually need to participate in the economy. So we are working on experiences in a similar fashion. But for an experience like Wilder World, which also facilitates engagement just on the trading level, it wouldn't be possible without the Web3 mechanics. It's all built on the in-gaming earn. Get to the point where the Web3 mechanics, the tokenized mechanics in the game will just be standard and everyone will just be on that.
Okay, so at least I think that I agree that what we are missing in the Web2 gaming experience is the possibility to really trade those assets, and that's why people are pushing the Rockstar studio so much to at least consider some tokenization of those NFTs. I think that would lead to the massive backlash, but at the same time they would print like millions of dollars, and maybe that's the opportunity that they missed, but you are going to embrace.
And I think it will be there. Until now, we also haven't had the killer app yet coming out of Web3 that really can take it on. So even for us, we are not planning to take on the traditional gamer just yet. We know that there's a long road that we still have to walk to go to the mainstream market and be like, hey guys, this is what you have to play. Because you need a good experience, you need a good game, you need an amazing game where people are willing to grind for weeks, if not months. And then the Web3 mechanics is a totally different conversation. But I remember I used to be like hardcore gamer all my life, and I remember the times when the sales of skin just started to pick up, like in the early days. Everyone thought you're crazy, for spending money for skins, for example. That was a thing, like people really, hated on that at that time. That's like whatever, 15 years ago, maybe more. And now, you have skins everywhere. Skins are tens of thousands of dollars and whatnot, and it's totally normal to spend your money on that, right? So I think that is the natural progression of game technologies. It's like, we need to see that it actually creates value for the gamer, that it is not possible without. And I think this is where Web3 gaming will really hit a big impact. And once we have the first killer app games out there, where the traditional gamer is like, you know what, Web3 gaming mechanics, yes or no, it doesn't matter, but the game is just amazing and it's just incredible to play. So, and we still have to see that yet.
Yeah, that it's hard not to agree with this. I promise you to finish by 6:30, but please don't kill me for asking the one final question, because that's at least for what our community is curious. Because I want to finish with some action point. Because let's be honest, this 20 minutes long conversation convince every one of us to battle test your game, to participate in your metaverse. So I'm just curious what our community can do about it. Do you have some beta tests, or do you feel that it's worth to sign up for the wish list? By the way, greetings to your girlfriend. And what do you think is the action point for our community in here?
Yeah, so definitely what I would just recommend everyone is check out our Twitter, our X, have a look at the Epic Game Store. While the world on the Epic Game Store, wishlist our title there. You will get all the information, any updates that are coming live. So that's something that I can definitely recommend. And we'll have the new alpha title going live in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So definitely by the end of July, anyone will be able to just go onto the Epic Game Store, go to Wilder World, download the racing game, and then compete and race. And I can just tell you, better get your steering wheels warm, because we have some hefty rewards in pet as well. So we already gave tens of thousands of dollars worth of wild in rewards over the last few months in our closed alpha testing, and now we're gonna open this up for anyone to experience. So if you want to experience a super fun competitive racing game, your chance to race through Miami, and you want to make money while doing that, definitely check Wilder World on the Epic Game Store, and to be up to date with our Twitter as well.
Then I don't want to have any trouble from your girlfriend, so I'm relieving you. Thanks for coming for the interview. It was a very good conversation, and let's hope that this is only the beginning. At least we are wishing you all the success. We wish it to be the first breakthrough in the Web3 gaming environment, and let us know on the future updates what's going on with Wilder World.
Definitely will. Thank you so much for having me, guys. This was super fun. And to everyone, shout out to all the Wilders. Also, keep your eyes open. There will be something, Wilderwood and GameSwift. There's a reason why we're here together. So all the best for you guys as well. Thank you for inviting me. And I hope it's cooling down a little bit where you are.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out there. Thank you, Zen. Let's keep in touch.
We will.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot, man.
Yeah, I think he was right with that. It's really hot, and I feel even hotter after this presentation. I need to admit that when I find out that we have some special guests from Web3 Gaming, I'm always like, okay, let's see what kind of the game they are working on. But I am usually initially skeptical. But while seeing this, what they are working on, it's really hard not to be amazed.
Yeah, man, super impressive. Didn't expect it to be that good, actually. And we actually didn't touch upon many other interesting topics or things that they're going to implement in the game, like the AI-driven NPCs, like autonomous NPCs there. The question is whether they will.
Like NPCs are usually like AI driven for, like, we can also say that the Star Heroes is introducing the AI bots, right? But obviously
it is, man.
Yes, obviously it is, right? So trend is your friend, obviously, but here, like, when you see that someone is working on the metaverse side of thing, right? Usually you are that, okay, it's one of the hundreds metaverses out here, but it looks like they are different. Like, at least that's what I feel in my guts, because this looks like a really top notch. Anyway,
Pan 100 people working on the game. It's already a lot. This is a big studio, guys. So definitely keep an eye on the wider world.
It's a lot, but it's also let's say relates to the market cap, because let me check what is the Wilder World market cap. It's $95 million, right? So it's quite a significant player, right, in the market. Because and it reflects actually the team, because when I think that, I don't know, around Star Heroes there's like 15 people development team, but also Star Heroes has lower market cap. Here it is like 100, and I think that they really deserve this valuation. It looks like that what they are doing is really cool, and I see that they are listed from July 2023. That's pretty interesting, since I think that that's almost actually they are from May 2021. Okay, so it's a really long journey. They went through the whole bull market, then the whole bear market. So really, I need to say that I appreciate that they are still in game, because obviously look at this chart, like it's like a middle finger, right? So obviously a lot of community members somewhere around here could be pissed, right? But those people just kept grinding, right? Just keep developing their game, and looks like they've been back, like most of the Web3 games, around March this year. Now they are through the downfall, but let's be honest, most of the products are minus 70% from the top, but they really deserve like the interest, since they keep grinding, even though they started like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, a long time ago. By the way, guys, as Zen mentioned, there is something going on between GameSwift and Wilder World, because another episode of the Modular Saga has been launched right now. So you can join the Galaxy campaign right now, complete all the tasks, and you will be able to earn an NFT of a car with the GameSwift branding on it that is set for distribution in Q3, and also to win some wild tokens. So go ahead and take part in it right now.
Oh yes.
Also, if you want to play it, as Zen mentioned, in a couple of weeks you'll be able to do it on Epic, at least a race with those cars. Actually, that'd be cool to have a GameSwift car.
I'm just reading the chat, and I see Caro thinks that official Illuvium launch can start a gaming run, while Piotr O, maybe it's Piotr Ostapowicz, believes that Illuvium died a long time ago. I think we shouldn't judge any Web3 game basing on their chart, because maybe let's check the Illuvium, right? Probably when you see the Illuvium chart, you feel it's also a middle finger, right? So, actually, what you feel is that, yeah, this is probably dead, right? But it's part of the crypto market cycle, right? They are not more than crypto cycle. They are like part of this crypto game. So there are also obviously ups and downs. Maybe it's good for them that their token is more diluted right now, that the FDV to market cap is closer. It's obviously positive, but still, I'm a little bit afraid, speaking at least for Illuvium, that I don't want to say that it's dead, right? That they are definitely working on the product. But the thing is that the feedback that is provided to me, that is a beautiful graphics, but not necessarily the engaging gameplay, right? So I'm a bit afraid that Illuvium not necessarily will be the first game to start mainstream Web3 gaming adoption. I think this will be a different game, and I think this will be a surprise. This will be one of the games outside like the reach, which will print millionaires. So it's worth to be engaged around this market. It's worth to battle test those games, to be one step ahead, because I think we're all missing the opportunity, which is not that clear, because all people focus on top 100, top 200 market cap, on Illuvium, on Shrapnel, etc., etc. But I think this might be someone else, and we'll see who.
These are like two separate things, right? One thing is whether the games are capable of standing back up and like taking their tokens back up. And then another thing is the massive adoption. I think these are two separate topics.
Yeah, obviously. Rafał is asking why GameSwift is low float, high FDV. So first of all, you need when you check the coin market cap or CoinGecko, you need to bear in mind that you need to check the API. As you can see, here is the API GSWIFT community supply, so we provide them with it, but CoinGecko is not reading this correctly. So let me click this API, and when you see, it's actually 121 million tokens. So it's not 56. It's actually the market cap is double, but obviously still, like, you might think that there is a big difference. And the main reason is that at least half of the circulating supply of GameSwift is frozen in the treasury. When you see the treasury, there is like $73 million in it, and it's actually 44% of the GSWIFT total supply, which is not circulating technically, but which is locked, right? So this is making like a lot of let's say confusion, and I think that's something that we should consider to work on. Recently, I started to think that I'm tired of explaining that this 44% of the total supply are frozen, because we are very careful in the distribution process of this. As you can see, not a single token has been distributed for.
You're not sharing right now.
Sorry. Yeah, thanks. So as you can see, 44%. As you can see, 0% of this have been distributed. It's frozen up on the DAO, and this is only technically not circulating. But I started to think maybe we should make it circulating, right? And that would cut the gap between market cap and FDV, which is very important. And yeah, I need to admit that recently I think a lot of how to close the market cap and FDV around GSWIFT token. I have a couple of ideas. One of them is to introduce the treasury into the circulating and the other pools as well. But we'll see. Probably whatever we do, we'll have to go through the DAO governance. But please don't release 41% to circulate. It will make GSWIFT a higher cap coin, and people won't see it as 100 gem anymore. Maybe yes, Caro, but maybe some people are afraid of investing in GSWIFT due to that, right? Because when they see that I think, and that's my observation, at least tell me whether you agree with this or not, is that people are a little bit afraid of the tokens which have a big difference between FDV to market cap. They are literally afraid that team is sitting on a lot of tokens to be dumped, and since then they prefer meme coins, which are usually fully diluted, right? That's why meme coins are having much better traction than fundamental coins in the last couple of months. Maybe they will change their mind when the market turns back bullish, Caro, or maybe that's a real problem. Illuvium was a scam at the start with good team. Yeah, like I don't want to blame anyone, but it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that at the very beginning it was rather trailer rather than actually working product.
You see, not all in circulation from start and top token buying. Yeah, this is the trend right now. So.
Yeah, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel, Caro, that we need to find the way of really releasing more into the circulation, even if this will make GSWIFT like $30 million market cap. At least people will not ask the same questions, because some people are concerned. So like you see, I remember those questions 6 months ago. So all of the questions is GSWIFT 1,500% increase in the last 3 months, but what's going on with this FDV to market cap difference? Some KOLs were afraid that it's a big difference. I'm afraid to shield because maybe team is sitting on those tokens to dump. Releasing them in the circulation would clarify and address this fact. So we will have the public discussion over this, so you can let's say let us know your feedback. Stardust is asking about the airdrop info for GSWIFT stakers. So and it's a good thing to tell you that 2 days ago we launched a first meeting, exclusive meeting for GSP stakers. So whoever staked their GSWIFT into GSP is invited for a special Discord channel, for a special Discord server. If you are still not there, please contact us and verify your wallet, because we want you there, and you can miss a lot of alpha, because on the recent AMA live I addressed all the questions about the upcoming airdrops. I tried to provide some alpha, and we are providing GSP stakers with exclusive offers. Literally today, 2 hours ago, we finished the exclusive pitch session for GSWIFT Pay stakers. So I will try to provide a lot of value to them, and also bring up some exclusive deals, and also address those airdrop questions. But long story short, we are still working on new airdrops into our ecosystem. As you can see on the treasury, we have so far distributed Spartatex in Star Heroes, but there are a couple of the others like Jungle Art, Outerlife, Mephisto, Abyss Protocol waiting in the queue. There are also the others like Ozu. Ozu is going to deliver us with the very good airdrop as well. By the way, Ozu founder was a special guest today for GSP OG. They presented their roadmap, and it works really cool. There's obviously the Doggin Hood. Probably, I'm just curious how many players they crossed 300,000 players, but I'm guessing that now it could be even more than that. Let us know in the comment how many users Doggin Hood have. But obviously, that's another product to be airdrop to the GSWIFT stakers. All we are waiting for, as you can see, it's not the case that those projects resign from delivering and distributing the airdrop. It's rather the case that those projects prefer to wait. They prefer to wait because they are afraid that the market conditions are not bullish right now. And I think that's a wise strategy. 500,000 players. So Doggin Hood just crossed 500,000. This is getting better and better. Regarding the GSP community meeting, it was really good to listen to what's going on. It would be great to schedule those meetings every 1-2 months. Stardust, I think that we can even make it twice a month. So thank you for your feedback. And let's talk about the major news for Star Heroes, because I'm guessing, Jacob, that the play to burn dashboard is finally delivered. Tell us more, Jacob, about this dashboard.
Yeah, sure, guys. So maybe I'll share the tweet from today. Some of you might have seen it already. So let me share the screen.
I've already did.
Oh, you already did. You're fast, man. So basically, guys, as we promised, we have started our play to burn campaign, with the general aim being to remove Star from the circulation forever. So there are basically 3 pillars, like 3 kinds of activities that we're using to do it. So one of them is the buyback and burn, as you might have seen on our dashboard, and we'll move there in a second, that the buybacks are ongoing right now. Another source of the burning comes from the Hero Duty web app, where you deposited millions of Star already, and also from the stars raised in the hero sale that took place. Man, I think that you could share actually the dashboard.
Presenting the duty app, right? It's 1.8 million tokens so far, but let me share the dashboard. This is a new piece of graphic for you guys here.
Yeah, so our goal here was to present you with all of this data, with the general overview of our buyback and burn strategies right now, with the goal of making Star deflationary, decreasing FDV, and taking Star from the circulation. So on top, as Pan was showing right now, you could see if you could move up, play to burn. So this is actually, we're the first game that's doing it. So we wanted to let you players burn star by playing solely. So there are basically 3 activities that impact the amount of star that are burned. So first of all, it's the amount of hours played in the game. Then it's the number of in-game kills by players. And the third one is actually the number of missions that heroes are sent on in the Hero Duty app. And today, the big news was that the first big batch of stars were burned, amounting to over 35 million star, which equals almost $3.5 million. And our general goal is to burn up to 40% of the total star supply, which is supposed to send a strong message to the investors with the lowering FDV and bigger growth potential, especially once the Web3 gaming is back in the narrative. But also in this chart, you can see, if you could move up a little bit, so we showed the stats for the play to burn, and then if you go down, the second category is the star burn regarding the 2 other sources that I mentioned. So the star deposited in the Hero Duty web app. Right now, as you said, it was here it shows over 2 million.
Yeah, it's actually looks like
tokens.
the one of the API is wrong, but I don't know which one. Maybe it's Dune Analytics. I think Dune Analytics is refreshing the data a little bit slower than our dashboard.
Yeah, seems so. And the other source is the game revenue that we had through the hero sale. So 50% of those tokens gathered there will also go to burn. We wanted to do it in batches, step by step, with one strong message to the investors. Because I don't know, but for me, man, up to 40% of the tokens burned, it's really a lot.
Yes, like my opinion for Star Heroes is that we need to wait for the final distribution, the distribution of the final airdrop, because since then there is not a single one selling pressure event where one big batch of tokens will be released. Obviously there are vestings from seed, etc., but usually people are afraid of, but those vestings are distributed over the 18 months. It's a long vesting. It's not a lot of tokens to be sold in a pre-sale. So I think it's rather about the final distribution from this season, especially that since then, in the second season, there is no promise for Star Heroes token to be diluted even more. So the big inflation for Star Heroes is close to be finished, and from after the distribution of those rewards from the first season, Star Heroes will become net deflationary, right? So that's what I'm personally waiting for. Hi, what's up, Kizak, Arturek? There are also a couple of new faces on our chat. Jericha Yam, it's a new face from our viewers, so glad to see you. I'm really curious, where are you from? Because it looks like you're from the Middle East. I'm just curious what country exactly. Anyway, pleasure to have you on our stream. Kazak is asking, what is our opinion about hamster combat and similar projects? Do you think it's a cheap way to lure millions of people in crypto? Yes, I think it's a cheap way of luring a lot of people into the crypto. Like I spoke, when I speak about my friends, my family, about Web3 gaming, that I'm doing something in Web3 gaming, they're like, they don't know exactly what I am talking about. But since hamster combat became mainstream, they know, okay, so this little hamster, okay, I know that's a crypto, okay, I know what you mean. So looks like everyone in the industry was thinking about making AAA gaming experience and to introduce a new wave of gamers into the blockchain with a very decent piece of masterpiece of graphic development. but looks like most efficient way is to rely on cheap Telegram games. And even Dogging Hood, when you see they just crossed 500,000 players, they are having even more players than Star Heroes right now. So Star Heroes, which took like 3 years of development, right? So that's really impressive. I'm not sure how much sustainable is it. Maybe there is some rule in this stupidity, but if something is working, then we should try it.
Yeah, but the tap to earn narrative trend is really genius, man. Maybe we should come up with something like that, something new. I don't know, tap to burn.
Tap to burn.
Because I couldn't believe really
right?
that
The more you
yeah?
tap, the more tokens you burn, right? And maybe we should
All it takes is a Candy Crush Web3 game, Ollie says.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
because it
GSP
seems to me, man, that yeah, it seems to me right now that the simpler it gets, the better, you know?
Yeah,
In terms of
that's true. That's true. The simpler the battle, like the complexity is the enemy of simplicity, right? And usually it's worth to rely on simplicity. Thank you, Roslasla Galareta. The GSP investor meeting clarified a lot. I'm more confident in the project now. Yeah, I feel that there was not enough communication for GSP stakers. It is mostly due to the fact that they were visible only on chain, right? There are a lot of people that locked their GSWIFT tokens, but we struggled to communicate with them. So shout out to our committee manager, to Michał Sky, who came up with the idea that how about just inviting them to our Discord, even if not everyone will receive the invitation, because not everyone is listening to YouTube town halls or to Twitter spaces. Still, we can invite a lot of people. And actually, yesterday, 120 people were present on GSWIFT Staker exclusive meeting. So looks like the conversion is, especially that probably there are a couple of multi wallets, multi accounts, is very, very good. I think we are coming to the end.
Yeah, speaking of numbers, I just wanted to add, guys, that the road to Mainnet campaign is still ongoing, and we can boast some nice numbers here. There are more than 80,000 participants so far. The number of transactions exceeded 1.3 million on our testnet, and actually it makes me very optimistic about the upcoming Mainnet, man, because these numbers are pretty dope.
Yes, let's hope for the better for the more liquidity, because definitely the mainnet date will be correlated to the with the overall market sentiment. How do you join the exclusive GSP staker space? So first of all, you need to be a GSWIFT staker. Secondly, there is a special group on the Discord for those people. There is like a special category, GS Pay. To get in there, and that's a good question. How to get in there?
We don't know it. Maybe Sekal, you could tell us in the private chat.
Yeah, Sekal, if you can help us, because all I can do is just to share the screen, and here is like the special group for our people. I think there was the special DD in our announcement channel. Okay, let's see the announcement channel. Stay updated. Wider world, new testnet faucet. Okay, so you can find the link in our Discord announcement channel. That's where you can find the way to join this group. Of course, provided that you're GSP staker. Perfect.
Maybe, Ben, last 2 points of our agenda. So we mentioned already the Modular Saga for Wild World, but guys, there's still another one going on for Darkverse. participating in
Okay,
it. Might
don't
give
miss
you
Darkverse Saga, because they are also going to be special guests for our GSpace stakers. So it's a I'm very proud to announce that a very high quality game, Darkverse, is joining the GSWIFT Modular Saga. And please remember that this is going to be active until the end of this week. So there is no more time, not much time left. And by the way, we are also going to come up with a special gaming nights. They will be purely refreshed with a lot of special guests. Probably the first gaming night will start next Tuesday. So stay tuned for those gaming nights. I think they will be much more entertaining than before. And obviously, the shout out to our girls, Kasia and Veronica, who are representing us on Ethereum CC conference in Brussels. Our beautiful girls embraced the Ryan Wyatt from Optimism. But by the way, that's a very funny pivot, is that we started cooperation with Ryan Wyatt when he was working for Polygon, right? And that was the time when we announced the official partnership that in line with Polygon, we are going to build our modular blockchain. But then Ryan Wyatt moved to Optimism, and we also moved with our modular blockchain to Optimism. So there is no coincidence here, guys.
Okay, man. So we have the last two questions, which are the same ones and comes from Adarsh. Maybe you would like to address it once again. When airdrop?
When airdrop, guys. So let me my goodness, Pan, how many unread messages you have? I won't sleep until I read all my messages. Because I presented my screen, fuck's sake. So luckily you didn't see my unread messages from Telegram, because it's a disaster and it's killing me. I need to admit, this thing is killing me, because when I think about how much backlog I have, and it's impossible to read everything, I just surrender. And what I am doing basically with my Telegram messages is I'm just grouping this into the folders. So I'm having like special contacts that I add into the special folder. If someone is outside this folder, I am just not reading this, because that would be impossible to read it through. And usually when you have my mobile phone, that's the most effective way to contact with me.
That's what I wanted. What are the names of the folders? I give full fuck. I give a medium fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck at all. No, it's
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
more about time.
Yeah, but let me answer this very important question. So, guys, the airdrops, they are not going anywhere. They are not leaving the GameSwift ecosystem. They are actually growing. We are onboarding new projects to contribute to our treasury. The recent one that we announced was Abyss Protocol, who provided us with a decent announcement of 2.5% of their total supply. There are new projects in a pipeline that you are not aware of. There are some that are not visible on our dashboard, like Dogin Hurt or Ozu. So we are obviously introducing new projects. The only thing is that they don't want to be listed right now. It's simple as that. When we leaked, and I totally understand your confusion, because I remember, I think that it was the live with Professor Farmer when we've, and it was on the top of euphoria, right? When we started to guess, how many airdrops we are going to do by the end of this month, and it turned out that it was Star Heroes and no more airdrops. So obviously, guys, you might be pissed on me, on Professor, and on our team, that there are no airdrops. There is no nothing, right? The market is dumping, right? But the thing is that since March, since that live, the market sentiment became bearish. the projects resigned from their listing, they postponed, not resigned, they postponed them, they delayed them, right? And it's actually interesting because now thanks to this, there's a big accumulation of projects waiting in the pipeline, and when the bullish market conditions will be back, will even much more to offer in a very short time period. And when I think about it, I can't wait for turnover in the market sentiment. Like the crypto is all about the capital flowing from weak hands into the strong hands, and I think the same will be the case with this case. So it is simple as that. And I know some people might say that, so maybe in May you should make the announcement that there are no airdrops. But guys, when we had May, for example, so it was 2 months after the top of the euphoria, we didn't think that June and July will be even more bearish than May, right? Of course, there's selling in May and go away, but the Ethereum ETF has been approved that time. A lot of people predicted that the DeFi season will be started. So obviously, we've been predicting, and those projects, because it's not about our predictions, it's about those projects. We speak them on a weekly, sometimes on a daily basis, and we get update from them, right? So when we had the live in March, all of them were like, yeah, we are getting listed in April, maximum May, right? Because the market is heated, like everything is going right. But then when April came, the negative sentiment started to flow. They were like, we'll wait 1 more month, maybe May, maybe June. Then in May, there's Ethereum ETF, and they say, yeah, June for sure. But yeah, in June, it's even more bearish. So maybe July. Fuck's sake, there is a Mangok Sandbook. This is how it works. Like nobody wants to be listed in this kind of market sentiment. So for those people like Chris79 is writing, whoever survived the bear market, whoever survived the Terra, probably understand what I say, right? But obviously, I know that there is kind of the mismatch between what we predicted in March, right, when we spoke, but to explain why we've been mistaken, it's mostly due to the fact that we rely on an update from those projects. And at that time, the update was that they will be listed April, March, and May. Since then, they postponed, and I think it's better because, like one of you has observed, for example, C4E made their listing during that bearish market conditions, and it was not that bullish, right? So sometimes it's better to delay rather than list in a very bearish market environment. And yes, any snapshots have been not taken right now. They will be taken before the airdrop distribution. Can I no longer lock the GSWIFT token? You can lock it in a standard staking. The GSP staking is closed right now. We wanted from the very beginning to make it very exclusive. So we don't exclude that it will be open in the future. This might be the case, but the consensus for now is that we are keeping it closed. So right now, the only way is the standard staking. But we are approaching our mainnet where the special superior staking will be introduced as well. I hear on the Discord that GSWIFT price caused Bitcoin and all the market down and start bearish market. Yeah, exactly. At least in Polish environment, right? At least in Polish environment. Yeah, airdrops delayed, but we are getting some GSWIFT rewards by staking. That's what James Bond is writing. So you are accumulating your GSWIFT tokens, which will recumulate into the future airdrops, right? Thank you guys. One day we'll be back, and like you need to take one lesson is we can say everything upon GameSwift team, but you cannot deny that we are not able to come back, right? And that's for sure. We came back, although nobody trusted this from the Terra collapse, and we'll be also back from this bearish massacre. It's just the positive work that needs to be done, and obviously your support. So obviously, thank you for your support, because even though we've got a very hot summer night, still almost 100 people are watching us live on YouTube. I see that on X we are reaching 800, or we're actually reaching 1,000 people. So that's
Nice.
that's nice, people, guys. Well, don't you have any other plans, guys, for the Wednesday evening? Like, please watch some football.
Yeah, actually, it's today. Second semi-final match.
Long Townhall
At
today.
9. What? Sorry?
Yeah, like it's a long Townhall today, 1 hour 15 minutes, right?
Oh yeah,
Only-
we can keep it until the semi-final if you want.
Yeah, by the way,
England,
what
Netherlands.
is your prediction for the semi-final, Jacob?
I don't know. England is the strangest team that I've seen over the last years, really. Fantastic players, shitty gameplay, and then they always make it quite high, quite far in the ranks. So, maybe penalties, man.
No, I feel in my guts that even though, like, I thought the same way, like for yesterday, that France has better team, but Spain is playing better football, and I think that this will be the case also today. That England has better team, but Netherlands will win, and especially that, I don't know. I feel like England or national team has kind of the loser mentality, right? That the last couple of years they've been kicked off somewhere around quarterfinals, so now they are overperforming by being in the semifinals. So yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, but actually, they made it to the semi-final of the World Cup, as far as I remember. Also, the final of last Euro, wasn't it, England?
It was the case, really? Okay, maybe.
Yeah, well, they had one final recently.
And probably
But
another own goal. That's probably the case. Guys, thank you for today's stream. We are seeing each other next week. Probably we are going to have another piece of an interesting guest, intelligent conversation, funny jokes, funny memes, and everything. Let's hope that GSWIFT will be back to the moon. And yeah, let's get this started.
And far beyond. The moon is just the beginning. Follow Elon Musk on Twitter. X. Sorry. X Twitter.
X Twitter.
Yeah. Please shut it down, Sekel.